Hey, this is Minnassa, and welcome to my channel. I'm so glad that you're here. Welcome to Tarot Living with Minnassa. I use the tarot to support you, to guide you, to inspire you on your path to your best and most loving and light-filled and fun-filled life. This is, as I said, Tarot Living with Minnassa, and I am Minnassa Gabon. And before we get started on this Tarot Tuesday reading and full moon in Pisces, let's just take a moment to be still. I invite you to breathe in through your nose and then exhale through your mouth together. And exhale. Take a moment to be still. And while you do that, I will send you some Reiki energies. I've just had recently my first and second Reiki attunement. So in this time of stillness, as you center to hear from your spirit guides and your higher self and your ancestors through this message, take this time to be still. All right, so let us go. Today I'm using the full moon spread. So there's a wonderful lady who has a podcast and an Instagram page called Healing Through Tarot. And she has a book that's called A Spread for All Seasons. And so I thought today, as I love her podcast and the work that she does, I'm like, oh, Minnassa, are you talking about one of your competitors? No, there's no competition. We are all light workers, and we all bring light through in our own ways. And so I'm grateful for the message that she brings. And here is Minnassa's message using her full moon spread. And I love these cards. So let's go through them together. First, there is Five of Swords, followed by King of Swords. Next is the Page of Swords, Ace of Cups, Eight of Wands, and then the Devil card, and then here they all are together. And so the first card in this spread is what is no longer serving me. The second card is what needs to be released. And the third card is what can help me with this surrender. And I use those three together because there's no accident that the first three cards in this spread come from the swords. So this is talking about thinking, our thoughts, our connection. And I love it that these three cards are talking about, first card, what is no longer serving me. And that Five of Swords is about that connection to the mass consciousness, the mass way of thinking. As we've seen over these last 18 months, prejudice, bigotry, racism, fear, all those things are coming up, and you see people acting in a way that for many people of color, that's been our experience, but now it's getting all across the world. And that fear and that control, that is that mass consciousness, lack, not enough, I'm not enough. And so this full moon is asking us to release that connection. No longer serves us to, I want to be like Mike. You want to be like the amazing, awesome person that you are. And so what needs to be released is really that divine, is that toxic masculine, that I'm in control of everything and all is well with me even though I'm dying on the inside. And to really connect with this King of Swords, so it's showing us to release that toxic masculine and to connect with that divine masculine that has a poise and a rest and a higher level of thinking. And what can help you with the surrender, which is this Page of Swords again. So what of that mass consciousness, what can you surrender and what can help you with that surrender? Our messages like this, that you are worthy, that you are valuable, that you have a purpose bigger than what your gender says, what your sexuality says, what your family says, what statistics say about you, and to live a higher message. Start feeding yourself things that are true. There's a verse in the New Testament that says, think on these things that are virtuous, that are lovely, that are peaceful, that are empowering. And so what can help you surrender is a change of thoughts. Change the message. Change what you're feeding yourself so that you can surrender those lower level thinking, that last bit of that unhealthy 3D thinking. Where do I need to withdraw my energy? And so I was kind of confused initially with the Ace of Cups. I'm like, what? This is a beautiful card. But it's really saying you need to withdraw those old emotions. Withdraw your energy from those old emotions. Woe is me, or things don't always go well, or there bad stuff happens in my family, or okay. If you keep feeding that is the truth. But you have the opportunity to release those old emotions and to begin to step into the Ace of Cups, a new emotion, emotions that are tied to healthiness, not a faking it, but healthy emotions tied to the truth of who you are, a majestic, radiant being of light. And then what truth will the moonlight illuminate? And I love this, the Eight of Wands. So the Eight of Wands is all about action, about being progressive, about being efficient, about being proficient, about moving forward. And if you are able, and I know that you are, and I encourage you, follow this advice of the full moon to disconnect from the mass consciousness way of thinking. It's not enough, I'm not good enough, things aren't working out, stuff is scary. Okay, that's not true. There is one source, and we are connected to that source, and that source is unlimited. And the answer is always yes. And as we are open and ready to receive it, that yes, those things that we want come to us. We can release that mass consciousness of fear and judgment and division, which is the biggest lie, of separation. And we can connect our emotions, disconnect our emotions from that, and step into this new way of oneness, of wholeness. The moon will reveal the path, the actions to our fullness, our wholeness. And we step into that. The Eight of Wands are about things moving quickly. And then this last card, what is emerging from my subconsciousness? To get the Devil card, I'm glad that it's in this deck. Most people get kind of nervous if they see it in the traditional brighter weight. But again, the Devil is about that invitation into the dark, but in a healthy way, right? You can go to the dark and be obsessed and fearful, or you can look the devil in the eye and say, there is no opposite. So even the dark, there is light there for me to find it. Or if there is darkness, I am there to bring my light. So what is coming from the subconscious are those things that are buried that you may have feared because they're different. But if you let those things rise up into the light of the moon and see them for the truth, that they're just a different aspect of the beauty of who you are, to release that mass consciousness. The dark is scary. That's why scary movies are. There's something under your bed. There's something lurking behind you. That's again that mass consciousness. And stop investing your emotions in that. That means, what are you reading? What are you watching? Who are you having conversations with? And allow the moon to illuminate that, so that even what you once feared, you can see it as a blessing to be talked through, loved, released, transmuted. That this full moon in Pisces, which is about your intuition and your wholeness, will release and then open doors so that you can walk into a new way of thinking, an empowered way of feeling, a path that is empowered and enlightened. And even the darkness will no longer be able to stop you. Blessings. Thank you for being here. Be sure to like and subscribe.